Hello, I'm in command and welcome to my Mage ability tutorial. Well, less of a tutorial, more of a showcase, and here are the commands. If you want something more in depth, then we can absolutely do that. So the first thing I'll show you is how to load the structure for those of you that have downloaded the structure file from the description of this video, and how to get that into your world. The first thing that you're going to need to do is grab yourself a structure block. So the way you do that is open up your chat and you type in /give@s, or your name, structure_block. Once you've done that, it will stick it straight into your inventory, and then you can use that to import the structure file that is in the description. So as you can see here, I'm just going to place this down, and I've got this block for summoning husks that we can do the tests on. But select over to load, click your import button, find the file wherever you've downloaded it to, and then click open. And then if you come out of your structure block, you will see the bounding box that shows you exactly where it's going to be loaded. I don't want to overwrite my two command blocks here, so I'm going to push it forward on the Z-axis by 2. You can see that bounding box has moved forward, and I'll just go back into it, click load. And then when I come out of it, you'll see there are all the commands for the Mage ability. First thing to do is add all the objectives, so you just push this button here. And also the HUD does take a bit of maths, so click on that button there and it'll add some needed things to calculate to ensure the HUD works properly. Grab your stick in the chest and then you can give it a quick whirl and it should work straight away. So this is just the rapid fire component. All you have to do is crouch and release, I should say. Crouch and release, and it will fire in any direction. It fires in a straight shot. And then there's the charge ability. So charge it up to the first tier, charge it up to the second, and you get 2. We'll do that in a moment. There we go, second. So there's 2, and then you've got the final tier 3, which is a spiral shot. And away that goes. So I'm going to show you how to do this with the commands. We'll do a bit more rapid fire first, but there are a lot of commands here. So this is for those of you that are on console. I realize that you can't just import a structure when you're on the PlayStation or the Xbox or the Wii. So if you want this, unfortunately you will have to build it, and there are a lot of commands here. There must be over 100. I haven't actually counted them, but there are a lot. So I will show you each and every single command, each and every single objective, how to make sure the scores are set against whatever players that you have are using this ability. And it is multiplayer safe, so you can have multiple people with it. So here we go. First, the objectives. I'll go quiet now and let you see all of the commands. I will jump in where I need to let you know about 1 or 2 of them. And in the meantime, enjoy some relaxing music. If you're on console, you don't need this top block. This top block is really for those that have used the structure load. You don't need it at all. It's an extra objective just to make sure it all works from the very beginning. So you can leave this one out if you're on console. These 2 blocks are very important. They're for sneak detection. So if you set the score to 0 while you're standing, and also set the score to 1 when you're crouching, then you can run the commands based off of that particular score, so it knows exactly what you're doing when you're doing it. And beneath these 2 for sneak detection, we've got the player ID blocks, which are very important for multiplayer. You need to be able to give each player a unique ID, and then assign that unique ID to your projectiles. Now this system uses boats. You summon a boat and you teleport it forward, and then you execute particles at the boat's position. Once you've done that, you get your projectile. So we need to know what boat belongs to what player. Right here we've got our charge chain, and this is what does the whole charge mechanic, and it will also summon the boats that will ultimately fire forward. So again, I'll go quiet and let you enjoy the music and have a look at all of these commands. And right here in the ID block is where we assign a boat to a player. Now that the charge is done, we'll go to the projectile chain. So this next chain behind this one here is what actually fires the boat forward. It gives a lifetime to the boat itself. It detects when it is close to an entity or a player, and then it will apply damage, and it will also apply any other sound effects or visual effects that you want. Also knockback there as well. So once you've got that detection, you're able to execute lots of different pieces from that detection to give you the effects that you want. So that's the commands for the chargeability. So next we'll do the rapid fire, and it's almost identical. Some changes in tag names and some of the logic because it's a bit different. So here are the commands. So much like the charge chain, you've got the chain for summoning, the logic for summoning the projectiles, and then you've got another chain for actually dealing with the shot itself, the projectile, damage, effects, etc. Next we'll move on to the HUD itself, so we can get that lovely animation, the charge up animation. That's what this is for. So you've got the HUD itself on top there, but also below, as I said at the beginning of the video, we've got the maths that are required. So what these blocks actually are is just assigning a value to a fake player name. So I've got a maximum value right there. The next one I think is maybe 4 or 12. We've got 12. And then that will go up. So essentially we've got lots of different fake players with a value associated to it, and then we can do some maths in the HUD chain. So the first portion of the HUD is actually calculating it, because what you might have noticed in the charge is that the first segment happens quite quickly, the second segment is a bit slower, and then the last segment is significantly slower. And so to be able to achieve that, you need to do some maths and ensure that you're then writing that to another scoreboard, and then you have a lookup table. So the animations themselves is lots of different frames, and then you piece those frames together by reading a scoreboard. And if you do it in the right way, then you get the animation that you'll see in the charge up piece. So the first few blocks I neglected to open up and show you the color coding. Right here is where you can color code it. All of this information is online. So if you wanted to change the colors, this is the place to do it. You might not like the kind of purple and gold that I went for here for the charge up and then the lock. The gold is obviously the lock. The purple is the charge up piece. Now that that's done, we'll move on to the charge up effects. The charge up effects are actually based off the sounds scoreboard, so that everything happens at the same time. So these are essentially just placing particles in front of the player when they are sneaking and holding the stick, or the staff, or whatever you want to call it. This just makes sure that you get that single flame for charge up 1, double flame for charge up 2, triple flame for charge up 3, and the scoreboards in here, as I said, all come from the chain just below this one, which are put in place to ensure that you get the sounds with the charge up, that ramping up sound and then the lock sound. All works off of the soundstage scoreboard that you'll see there. And as you'll see up the chain, I split it into different segments: segment 1, 2, 3, and you'll notice that the sounds have it's either the sound or global. If it's just the sound, that means it's being played to the player that is using it. If it says global, it means that other players can actually hear it if they're in a good proximity to the player using the ability. Otherwise it will just look like someone is silently using abilities. It's not great. So it's better to have some global sounds to be paired with the individual sounds as well. Okay, next we move on to the particles that are actually executed at the boat to make it look like you're firing a projectile. So you'll see here that the charge happens at the staff, so it looks like you're actually generating it with the staff, and then it centralizes, so it goes to the center. If you didn't have this chain here, it would just travel in a straight line and it wouldn't look great. So we need to centralize that particle, and that's what this does. This essentially just moves the particle further and further to the center as you go further and further up the chain, and it just gives that better feel, that better look to this particular animation, the projectile animation. Same for projectile too, so we don't want them just going in a straight line. We need to centralize them, so we've got two chains, one for the one on the right, one for the one on the left. So when you charge up to 2, you don't have just both of these flame particles traveling in a straight line. They centralize on the target, so when it actually hits the target, it looks like it's hit a target. Otherwise, it could go either side of the target and it won't look like you've actually hit them. So again, we have both of these chains so that we can centralize those particles. And again, the same concept for rapid fire. It's not just the other ones. Rapid fire needs to happen. But what you can do is probably just copy this chain. They're almost identical. So there are some commands within them. So again, for this one, as well as this one, almost the same as the first one. There are some key differences in the offsets of the particle execution, but they are very, very similar. So you could potentially get your structure block out, copy them, and then just make sure that you go through them and change the offsets to what they should be. This rapid particle is exactly the same as the other one, so the offsets are exactly the same. I think it even uses the same scoreboard. I think you probably have to go through it and just double check, but I'm pretty sure that you can literally just copy and paste and then just make sure that it's executed at the right boat. So not projectile 1, it will be rapid projectile. They are named differently to make sure that there's no crossover between them, and they all work well. Okay, and the same concept is true for the spiral. We're not centralizing anything. What we are making them do is all travel round in a circular motion as they move forward. So there are slight differences in the offsets as you go further and further up this chain, and it just makes sure that you get that nice spiral animation, which I think is quite satisfying. And lastly, we've got the score initialization. You're going to need this chain to ensure that any player that joins your world or your server, they have the scores necessary, otherwise it won't work for them. So this chain really just adds 0 to all players for that particular scoreboard. And so, you know, it doesn't mess around with your commands at all. It really just means that any player joining is going to get the score of 0. So if they use this ability, it works for them. Now at the top of the chain, I think there's 4 or 5 commands that are only really necessary for those that are loading the structure block with a structure block. What it does is just it turns command block output to false and send command feedback to false. If you don't do that, then you'll see that almost immediately, as soon as you load this in, it will start spamming the chat with all of the different commands, everything that's going on with this particular system. So as a console player, you may want to do the same. So pay attention to the commands at the top that actually turn them off. It's fairly simple. It's / game rule, command block output false, and / game rule send command feedback false, and that will turn off the spamming in the chat. And here we go. Here they are now. So this adds the objective. And this one makes sure that the fake player has a score on them. This next one will it will turn off command block output if the score is 0 for that fake player. Same for send command feedback. And then at the very top of the chain, I just turn this particular scoreboard to 1 so that it doesn't keep playing. So if you did want to turn these back on, you can do. Otherwise, if we didn't do this, it would just turn them off. But if you're on console, you don't need those top 5 blocks. You can just run those commands in chat. And that is the Mage ability. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do want to see more explanation on all of the commands, I'd be more than happy to make a video on that. It will be a lengthy one, so it wouldn't be immediate, but I can absolutely do that. And lastly, in my world, I like to have this one little command block, so when I get close, it displays that this is the Mage ability. So if you want that, there's the command for it right there. So thanks for watching. And if you do want a more in-depth tutorial on all of the different commands, how they work, how they interact together, I'd be more than happy to do that. So again, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.